Peace, sis. How are you? Natasha Winter, aka Natty, your natural fertility coach. I'm so excited to be doing this kind of video again today because these are the type of videos that I do where I get to reintroduce myself or introduce myself for those of you who have never met me before and are considering a fertility coach or learning ways to increase your fertility naturally. I really hope that by doing these videos you can get to make your decision better, because in these kind of videos I go over who I am, what I do. So if that is something that you're interested in, make sure to watch this video to the end. All right, so to get started, as I mentioned, my name is Natasha Winter. People call me Natty for short. You can too is just really a nicer, quicker way to, without having to worry about whether you're saying my name correctly or not. No sweat, right? So the second thing is that I am currently, again, operating as a natural fertility coach, which is also known as a natural fertility specialist, or in some cases a fertility doula. And what that means, we are going to talk about that some more, but I want to let you know some questions that people normally ask me as far as being a natural fertility coach. A lot of times I get asked, where am I located? And to a degree, it really doesn't matter because I'm located online, so I can help you no matter where you are. So if you're concerned about whether my location is going to affect my ability to help you, it actually doesn't, because it's actually better that we can communicate and do things online. I actually don't really do anything in person right now. It's just not one of the services that I offer, but in the future I may decide to do that if it comes up. So the other thing that I get asked a lot too is also how I got started, right? And so one of the reasons for this is because being a natural fertility coach is not like a very thing to be, so actually often intrigued by the fact that I have chosen this to do and that it even exists. I myself was a little amazed and in awe when I found out that, hey, I could be a natural fertility coach, right? And how I found out, or before I even talk about that, I really want to talk about how I really got started. I have been interested and very intrigued by birth work, fertility, reproduction, ever since I was a little girl. Like, I remember when I was maybe about 5 or 6, my mom asked me what I wanted to be, and I was like, a ballerina. I didn't really know what she meant by it, but anyways, I ended up choosing from this book of careers that she showed me, and I pointed on obstetrician, right, which I was okay with, except for the fact that I didn't want to have to cut women's bellies open in order to deliver a baby. Even at that young age, I knew that there was something wrong about that and that there had to be a better way. So when I became a teenager, it evolved, my career choices evolved into wanting to be a midwife. And so I pursued that. I volunteered at the midwifery clinic, and eventually I realized that, maybe this type of lifestyle wasn't really going to be for me, because to be a midwife, you really have to be on call pretty much 24/7. It really doesn't matter what's going on with your family life. If you have a lot of children, you have to work out how you are going to pretty much, arrange for childcare and so forth. And I knew I wanted a large family. And so I realized that, it really wasn't something that I wanted to pursue at that time. Not that it's something that I never want to pursue. I really would consider being a midwife later on in life, once my children are grown and everything. So I decided to pursue being a doula to help women to give birth, because I have always been giving women tips on, how to have a safe delivery, what to do during labor, because I myself have had a lot of beautiful labors. I have 8 children, by the way, so I've had no issues with any of my my labors and deliveries. And for the most part, my pregnancies have been pretty smooth. So I've had a lot of experience and tips to give other women along the way. So I began to pursue becoming a doula. Because, I really want to help women before they get because I realized that a lot of women were experiencing negative childbirth outcomes. As you know, I think it's about 243% of Black women are at risk of maternal death, right? And so knowing this, I was like, something needs to be done before women get to labor and before they get to this situation, in order to prevent, to curb, you know, the risk of giving birth in, you know, North America in hospitals, the risk of having to have C-sections, and, you know, using all this medication that is being given to women during the birthing process. And so I knew that I had to sort of take a step back, right? And I'm always really trying to be very preventative and very, so I realized that I could be a fertility coach. I could, or what I had, I was calling myself at the time was a fertility doula, where I was giving women fertility advice and fertility tips. So with that said, I started doing this about a year ago, when I realized that, you know, I could offer this advice not just to people that I have met in person, but I could also start to do it online. So I began to open up to consultations and to do one-on-one calls on the phone, where I would, you know, listen to women, give them my assessment of, you know, a summary of basically their history and everything that they are struggling with as far as fertility goes, and then create a strategy to help them to increase their fertility naturally, and in that case, in that way, so that they could have a healthy pregnancy, birth, delivery, and of course a baby. So to take a step back even further than that, right? Like I said, I've been interested in fertility and reproduction ever since I was very young. So it's not like, you know, I really just came up with all of these ideas a year ago. 2 years ago, I was actually embarking a little bit on my own fertility journey. And even before that, I really kind of want to take you back into like a chronological view. I used to have really painful periods that lasted about 7 to 9 days, and they were really bad. I've had my period ever since I was 9 years old, so you can just imagine my consciousness has always been sort of centered around fertility and what is going on with you know, my womb and reproduction. And so having had these painful cramps ever since I was 9 years old, and, you know, the only solution that I ever really had was my brother making me tea, herbal tea. And I realized, hey, these teas, they work. So I began to pay attention to that. And also, when I was about 14, well, before that, sorry, a little bit after that, it's actually 15 years old. At about 15 years old, no, so yeah, okay, I'm trying to remember the different chronology of certain things, but yeah, at 14 I discovered that I had a breast fibroid. And so I was really terrified. I was telling my mom, I was like, oh my god, I got cancer, I'm gonna die, blah 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 blah. And really what had happened was I had experienced some trauma when I was younger, and that had resulted in a fibroid. And so at 14, again, I became aware of fibroids, and that my mother had had fibroids, and that she had just been living with this fibroid, and that this fibroid almost determined whether my brother and whether my sister was going to be born or not, because it was a 50-50% chance that either the fibroid was going to grow and, you know, eliminate my sister, or my sister was going to grow and shrink the fibroid, or the fibroid was just going to, you know, go to the side or something. So luckily, obviously, my sister survived, right? And my mother, again, she did this fibroid. But in my mind, I was like, what can we do about this fibroid? And I had thought about this ever since I was young. So they wanted to do surgery on me at 14 years old, and I was like, no, I'm not letting anybody cut into me. They, you know, the options were to do to cut, laser, or freeze. I was like, no. So the next year, I had been diagnosed with like abnormal uterine cells and extended uterus. Again, I also had long painful periods at that point they had not shortened or anything like that, so they were still between 7 to 9 days long. And I'm telling you, when I say 7 to 9 days long, they were that long. And you're talking about somebody being in elementary school with periods, middle school, okay, high school. So throughout my entire adult, like, 9 years old, 10, 11, until about well, it's another series of events that happened. But anyway, so about 15 years old, I was diagnosed with this, and I was back in the hospital. There were tests, and actually really them just pouring vinegar in my womb and being like, gotta go. And I was like, no, we're not gonna just pour vinegar on me and then cut into me. Another thing is that a lot of those symptoms were actually symptoms that many women with fibroids have. So even at that age, it's possible that I had uterine fibroids as well, right? Because I had a breast fibroid. I had other symptoms of fibroids uterine wise, such as, again, the extended uterus, long painful bleeding. So long and painful bleeding, right? And abnormal uterine cells. And fibroids typically grow from damaged cells, so those cells could have become anything. So I did the test, the exam, and they pretty much were ready to operate on me, or trying to get me to schedule an appointment. And I said, basically I need some time to think about this. And mind you, I'm 15 years old. I didn't have any support. I don't even know if my mother ever knew about this. So I really was there by myself. They weren't even trying to get any type of parental, they just wanted to cut into me. So, I walked out of there not knowing what I was going to do. And they had some pamphlets on the wall right outside of the door. And in some of these pamphlets, they were like, one of the pamphlets I picked up was basically saying that for the exact condition that I had, that I could heal it with a healthy, well, they didn't use the word plant-based, but basically saying a healthy diet consisting of more fruits and vegetables. So at the time, I wasn't vegetarian, I wasn't vegan or plant-based or anything like that. I come from a Jamaican family. They eat a lot of meat. I got my period in Jamaica. So anyways, that was a challenge, right? But I was working at a restaurant, and we were able to eat a lot of the food for free. So I started to eat more of this, drink some more of like the healthier drinks, a lot of water. So that was never an issue with me. I always had a very gallon jug on my desk when everybody else had the little water bottles, if they had anything at all. So, and I would do that. Sometimes if I didn't drink 2 of those bottles a day, I would feel like I was going to die. So I've really been a water fan. So drinking more water wasn't really a challenge, but eating more fruits and vegetables, that took me a long time to really get it right. But I began doing that, and so I became vegetarian. And I also, again, started pursuing becoming Rastafarian. So as you know, Rastafarians are vegetarian for the most part, and some are vegan. So that really sort of helped at least cultivate my experience with people that were eating a non regular diet, like a non-meat diet, and at the same time still being able to be healthy, be very strong, and and fit. So that really helped out. And at the time I was really still dabbling with being a pescatarian, which means that you eat fish, right? So but what I noticed was, from eating more of the vegetarian food, not only that, I mean, before I even noticed some other things, like I did this, and in a few months they had told me that I no longer had abnormal uterine cells. And so I was kind of in shock and disbelief, because I was like, you all just wanted to cut into my uterus, my cervix, and to extract these cells, and that was supposed to be the cure, right? But all I did was change my diet because of this pamphlet that I saw outside, that I don't know how you all let end up there, being that it works. And that was pretty much what reversed the condition that I had, was just switching my diet from a carnivorous meat eating diet to one where I consumed more fruits and vegetables. And like, there was really no even major strategy. I was 15, I was just eating more lettuce, I was eating more fruits, I was, I started messing with some soy. I was eating a lot of vegetable dishes. So I wasn't even really eating a lot of beans too. I wasn't really cooking a lot of beans at the time. I was really making a lot of vegetable soups and cutting up a lot of vegetables and eating that as my meat, right? So that is what I did, and that reversed the condition. So what I also noticed is that my periods had begun to lessen. They weren't so much the 9 days anymore. They became more like the 7 days, right? And so this really helped me later on to realize just how important diet was, right? But I don't want to I don't want to go on too much about my diet and everything. I just want to give you again some insight into how I got started. So I guess I'll just continue a little bit. So I basically became vegetarian about 7 years ago, when again I met my children's father, who I'm with right now. And when I became vegetarian, that is when everything really started to shift as far as my menstrual and my reproduction, as far as just how more vibrant and healthy I felt, and how more ease there was with my periods. For one, I no longer had any type of period pain, right? So where I was having period pain, that had pretty much vanished. My periods had shortened from about 7 days to maybe about 5 days, right? And so again, they weren't as long, they weren't painful, and I started to notice that, and I thought things were cool. I was okay with the 5-day period. I thought that was still normal, right? But about 2 years ago, when I decided to take fertility just like a lot more seriously, when I started to do certain things and just tap into my femininity a little bit more and self-care, and I was doing everything together at the same time. So I was exercising, I was eating more plant-based, I was meditating, journaling, I was doing yoga. Man, I was doing everything. And it's not like I wasn't sort of doing it on purpose. I didn't know what the results was going to be. I had got back from LA, and it was a really perfect time because I had no distractions. There were nothing pretty much in my way, no obstacles, no major challenges really. And so I was able to sort of accumulate everything that I had learned. I was taking herbs, everything. I was able to do everything all within that summer. And so that summer, again, my periods went down from the 5 days to the 4 days, completely no pain whatsoever. I was also tracking my ovulation, so I was able to determine when I was ovulating. Like, I could literally feel the ovulation, right? And so that helped me to pretty much conceive my son in one cycle. So the story for that is that, while I was in LA, we were traveling, we were in the car, and, going from place to place, there was really no time for any type of intimacy. It just didn't happen, period, right? So that is how I know that through tracking my ovulation and doing the other things that I was doing, such as the yoga, the drinking, the lemon water, healthy dieting and exercising and things that I was doing, I feel like it all really helped me to sort of tap into my body cycle and to sort of become more in tune and to be able to conceive in that. So when I realized all of this, I realized that, I can help other women to pretty much have the same success and the same results that I had. So I had already been posting fertility videos on YouTube, which is another way how I got started. Is that, I was making YouTube videos on one of my other channels, and I sort of wanted to again branch off and go back to again my original interests, since reproduction and fertility. So I created the fertility channel, not really, again, intentionally trying to be a fertility coach or anything, just wanted to give information freely that I know that could help people, that from the experience that I've had. Also, I used to volunteer at a fertility clinic. So while I was there, I was, making binders for the clients at the fertility, did I say fertility clinic? I meant a midwifery clinic. So I was volunteering at the midwifery clinic. Remember, I wanted to be a midwife. So I was making binders for them, and these are the binders that they take home and they fill out and they're supposed to give to the hospital. But in those binders, we also put a lot of information to help them to have safe pregnancy, nutritional information, positions, information, to sort of take all of this information and realize, okay, look, I can create a program and I can create things for women to increase their fertility naturally. It wasn't going to be the binders per se. I was going to do it digitally. And so that is the path that I embarked upon. So it's a lot of overlaps into how I got started. I hope that wasn't really too confusing for you. So basically, my childhood desires, being conscious of fertility and reproduction ever since I was young, my own challenges with fertility and reproduction, and also realizing that, a lot of women around me were infertile. Like I've had people very close to me that were not able to conceive, not able to have babies, and if they did get pregnant, they would end in miscarriages. And I was able to sort of, see the lifestyles of some of these women. I was able to see, the challenges, the emotional turmoil that a lot of these women were experiencing. Of course, I wanted to help, and so being, again, conscious of all of this is sort of really kind of moved me in this direction some more, right? So that's like that was also a very major piece in me, again, wanting to be a fertility coach, because I've seen firsthand just how infertility affects women who are young. I mean, I'm talking about in their 20s. I'm talking about women, mid 20s, late 20s, early, some of them were in their early 30s, who could not have babies. And I was able to have babies, no problem, And so I realized also that, your diet is going to play a role. Your lifestyle plays a role. Your mindset can play a role too. And, so basically not wanting to see that to persist and to continue to happen, even especially to like young women who should otherwise have been very fertile. Again, I really wanted to have a say and to be able to help women to increase their fertility naturally. So to continue, I also used to be an aromatherapist. So the reason why I bring this up is because when I say aromatherapist, I mean I studied aromatherapy. My children had eczema when they were young. I wanted to heal them, and in order to do that, I had to research and study all of these herbs and these essential oils, which I did, learning all about them. And I started to learn that different oils and different things have different properties that are healing and that are beneficial. And so I've also carried over that wisdom and knowledge. I used to make my own beauty care products. I've always been very interested in nutrition and health and diet. So again, when I was becoming a vegan, it wasn't it wasn't completely new to me. When I was becoming a vegetarian, again, to heal my womb, it wasn't completely new to me because I had already sort of had these interests. So it's like everything just sort of culminated. Everything sort of culminated into me becoming a fertility coach. Some other things, again, I've always been interested in herbs and wildflowers and, being in nature, which again is pretty much where I live, which is in a mountainous wooded area. As you can see, lots of wild herbs out here that are very good for fertility. And it's like I've just learned so much over the years, been able to sort of connect the dots, that I don't think that a lot of other people who maybe are wanting to be a fertility coach or fertility doula can, who are maybe like buying into that, because there are programs where you can just buy your way in to being a fertility, like they just give you everything that you need to tell your clients. I haven't done that. I have pretty much gone through it step by step, and self-taught. So I've again been able to realize how having a more feminine approach can help women to conceive. Not to say that you have to be feminine to have a baby, but you know, in the world that we live in, which is very go and very fast-paced and very hard-working, it's not necessarily conducive to fertility, to a healthy baby. The diet is and a lot of that I study, a lot of the herbs, a lot of, again, even the essential oils, body care products, all of these things, when you research them, you find out this is good for fertility, this is good for menstruation, this is good for fertility, this is good for reproduction, this is good for womb health, this is good for you know, the cleansing the liver and things like this. And it makes you wonder, well, everything else that we're doing, why is it not good for fertility? You know, so I'm able to see that, you know, everything that people are doing in their regular lifestyle that has been promoted is really not necessarily good for fertility, which is one reason that a lot of women could be experiencing fertility issues right now. And so I'm able to pretty much see the bigger picture, and I can pinpoint things that may be affecting women's fertility, and not just tell them, oh, you need to do this, you need to reduce stress. I can pretty much tell them how to do it, right, in a way that is actually that's actually enjoyable and doable, right, which we'll talk about in another video, right? And so basically I can make things very practical, very sort of easier to do. I could do it with you and I could do it for you. I really, again, enjoy being a fertility coach because I get to do a lot of the things that I'm trying to tell women to do. I get to do it with you. I've never really wanted to be someone who's just telling you what to do and just leaving you to your own devices, pretty much. I've always wanted to do it with women, which is why, again, about 2 years ago, I decided to embark upon, you know, increasing my own fertility naturally, even though I pretty much had, you know, very good fertility, which I attribute to my diet, becoming a vegetarian at a very young age, and, you know, just being keen on things that affect fertility and how, you know, we can continue to maintain fertility, and the obstacles that are up against us if we you know, just go with the flow that has pretty much been promoted to us, which is to, you know, eat unhealthy, to live in a very stressful manner. I've been able to see, you know, how both ways can affect your fertility, right? And so, as I've mentioned, I'm pretty much self-taught. I've taken the time to study all of the information that I put out there, which is, to me, unique, you know, because the fertility industry, as far as being a fertility coach, it is becoming something where, again, like I said, you can just buy into it, and there's good and there's bad to that, because, you know, obviously women need help. Women definitely need help with their fertility, but I think route, and you take the time to learn certain things on your own, and so you can see the correlations, you can filter the information, that it helps to, again, put things into perspective and put it together, so when you're helping your client, you know, you can give them a very practical you know, explanation and example of how things are working, right? So that's that. So the other thing I want to talk about is some of my abilities, what I'm good at. One of the things I'm really good at is technology. I'm really tech savvy for the most part. My father was a computer programmer, so I've always been online, always been well, not online, but I've been on the computer ever since I was like really small, right, when the video games were on the computer with that little joystick. But yeah, so I can create digital products really quick and easy. However, I like to put my time into it, so it usually takes me longer than necessary, because I want to make sure that everything, you know, a little bit of perfectionist, but I have to get out of my own way as far as that goes in order to just get a lot of the information and products out there. But I can create tons of, you know, helpful digital programs, workbooks, worksheets, graphics, information to help you, you know, webinars, video tutorials. I've done, you know, making videos. I was a fertility coach. So even though I'm not very tech heavy, I can and pretty okay. For okay, are, you know, they're only saying this because they're trying to, you know, protect. So I can pretty much filter out, you know, especially when it comes to like herbal information and whether you should do this. A lot of times this information, like where it really gets sketchy, is if you should be taking something or if it how it affects your hormone. I can help you to like navigate that, because a lot of times you'll see information where they're like, oh, you know, this has estrogen in it, like soy, for example. They'll say, oh, well, soy has estrogen in it, and if you have estrogen, you shouldn't take estrogen. For your unique situation, I can pretty much let you know pretty much what you're up against, whether you should be taking soy based or soy. A lot of times it's not actually, it's estrogen, it's like phytoestrogens. But anyways, I can let you know for your unique situation how it may affect you and how serious pretty much it could be, or, you know, whether taking this thing can actually benefit you. Because a lot of times when you actually take these producing herbs or foods, a lot of times it reduces your the negative harsher estrogen, such as xenoestrogen. So basically I can filter out the information if you are someone who is struggling with, you know, Googling fertility information for your unique situations and so forth, right? Because I already study a lot of it so much myself, and so again, that comes in handy. So I'm also very creative. I'm Pisces, and you know, creative queens out here, right? So part of creativity is solving problems, making it art, making it beautiful, making it fun. All about that. Definitely coming up with solutions even in the midst of a problem. I feel like that is a very do. I love art, I love beauty, I love things that look good, smell good, feel good. So anyways, I can help you to also you know, enjoy some of that if you are in a situation where, you know, maybe you're stressed out, maybe you're depressed, maybe you have anxiety. There are so many things that you can do that, you know, being a little bit more creative, right? So even if you have, like, again, situations maybe that are a little bit more let's say you know, different, like maybe you're having scheduling issues where you can't find time to do certain things that you know are going to improve your fertility. You can't find time to eat better, you know, maybe you do have one child and you know, you're having issues juggling improving your fertility, maybe with exercising or something, and at the same time maybe a child that wants to, you know, not let you do it, right? We can figure something out. We can be creative in coming up with solutions for things like that. Solutions for, again, being able to afford fertility coaching or afford a fertility program. Creative as far as being able to afford fertility programs or of herbs, the supplements that you may need, the equipment that you may need to, you know, again, carry out your fertility goal. Because another thing is that, you know, improving your fertility, increasing your fertility, it can cost, right? And it is something that you do have to be committed to, that you do have to invest your time your money, your resources, your heart, your mindset, everything you pretty much have, needs to be poured into it. And it's not like it's something that is draining for you. To me, fertility is really self-care. To me, improving your fertility naturally, increasing your fertility naturally is really self-care. So it's just like how, if you are someone makeup or that massages, like you're going to invest in that. So the same thing with fertility, you're going to need to invest in herbs that are going to help to cleanse your liver, herbs that are going to help to tone your womb, foods that are going to give you the nutrition that you need, right? And so this can become costly. You have the option where you can go and you can get IVF and you can do it really quickly, or you can do it slower, but it can still pretty much cost the same amount, right? It's just that you're going the healthier, natural route, which is not necessarily slower. I don't want you to get me wrong, because there is this impression that IVF is faster. It's not faster if you consider the fact that women are doing 2 or 3 rounds, which is has to be done over a period of time, right? It's not all automatic. And for Black women, if Black women are percent less likely to conceive through IVF, are failed 12% more than white women. So how fast is that really, right? Whereas if you do the natural route, you don't need to necessarily repeat the entire process each and every time. You increase your fertility, you reduce the fertility issues that you have. Now you have a whole new lifestyle that is healthier, makes you feel better, vibrant. You're eating better, sleeping better, doing a lot more things. You're more in tune more in tune with your body, connected with your body. You understand your reproduction, you understand your fertility. So to me, that's the better option, is to go the natural route, because with the IVF, it's like every time you want a baby, you have to shell out $30,000, $10,000. You have to buy medication, you have to deal with insurance, you have to deal with a lot of issues, which I think I'm going to talk about in my next video, dealing with the current situation that we have going on, and as far as coronavirus, 5G, and a lot of the madness that we are seeing going on as far as we'll say that for now, right? So I think I'm gonna make a video about that tomorrow, and also again dealing with whether just the state of fertility as it is now. So we're going to talk about that in my next video, right? So definitely is we can come up with solutions that are creative, that can help you to be able to afford this new lifestyle, right? That is a healthier lifestyle. And people have the assumption again that being vegan, vegetarian, eating healthier, being healthier costs more money. And a lot of times it's not necessarily the case, because what you need in a certain lifestyle, what you needed when maybe you're a meat eater, living a very fast-paced life, or you're taken out, you have to be in traffic, and you have to be trying places faster and do things faster, where you have to pay a certain amount or a certain way. And then when you're transitioning to a different lifestyle or diet, or route, any type of thing, a different program, a different strategy, a different way of life, right? When you're just beginning, you don't know what you're doing, so it can be more expensive, it can come across as more expensive. But it's like the longer you do it, you get to understand what's really important, what you need, and then you realize that you don't need as much, even as you did in the beginning, or even as you did living in how you were living before, right? So that's a misconception, that eating healthier is more expensive. Really, you're talking about your health, you're talking about your fertility, you're talking about your longevity. So there's really no price on that. Money is an illusion as far as that goes. But your health, you're going to feel your pain. You're going to feel if you're aching, you're going to feel the pounds piling on your body, and you're going to want to do something about that. And the quick fix is not always the best fix. So I definitely like the fertility natural route, because it's really something you get to keep forever. That knowledge, that intuition, that wisdom, seeing the changes in your body, that's something that you get to keep with you, and that is not at the mercy of an institution or anything like that. So another one of my abilities, again, is that I can be very serious and down to earth, very practical, tell it like it is, but at the same time be enjoyable, and we can have some fun, and we could tell jokes, and we could share stories and things like that. So as far as working with me one-on-one, you know, it's really something that should should come with ease, and that, you know, we should pretty much be both open to, you know, sharing what's going on, so that way we can get solutions and we can get to the root of things and to move on in a very light-hearted way, right? So here is who I typically help, or who benefits the most from what it is that I have to offer, which is women who are in their 30s to their 40s, right? Who are struggling to conceive, who have for the most part not have a child yet, not have had a child yet, but I have helped women who have had children, and who have experienced infertility for, you know, long periods of time. And so again, like I've mentioned before, you do have to want to invest, you do have to be willing to invest, right, to the process, because for the most part, increasing your fertility is not necessarily an overnight thing. Yes, there are some stories of women who maybe have yoni steamed once or twice and conceive. But for the most part, you know, we are talking about having to detox. We are talking about having to shift our mind. We are talking about having to adjust our lifestyle to a different way of doing things. So that can take time to adjust. It can take time to cleanse out the toxins out of your body. It can take time to bring your mind around to why something needs to be done, why that you have not been doing before. You know, you're going to have to unlearn a lot of things, because we've been, again, taught that, hey, this is the way that you do things. But if that's leading you infertile, you have to do something different. You know, if what you were doing before is not getting you the results you want, you have to do something different. And a lot of times you have to work on your mind to get your body to, again, be a little bit more receptive and open to this new way, and again to facilitate creating this new lifestyle, this new routine. That can take time. So 6 weeks to 12 weeks to 24 weeks is pretty much the duration of the programs that I use to offer women the support that they need. Generally, most women will see some results around the 3-month mark. You're probably going to see that, you know, before, within your second cycle, depending on what you're doing. But generally, by the 3-month mark, you'll see results. 6 months is really, you know, a marker, because, you know, by 6 months, you have cleansed out a lot of toxins. You have regenerated a lot of the cells in your body. You have, you know, put back nutrients that you never had. You know, you become, again, more accustomed to doing things differently. So it's not so hard, you know, adjusting your lifestyle anymore. And for women that do need a year of assistance, you know, by the end of that year, you know, you pretty much are going to be a completely different woman altogether. So those are, again, the women that I help and how I help them. Also, women who need help with balancing their hormones, regulating their period. I can definitely help with that as well, right? Women who want to improve their diets and who want to connect with their body to, you know, understand their fertility more, understand how reproduction works, tap into being more of feminine, divine being, because I feel like this is something that, you know, we definitely need to tap into our spirituality more as it relates to being, you know, a feminine archetype, to being a woman and so forth. So I feel like that's very important, because a lot of the things that are very feminine, are very very slow, are very delicate, are very nurturing, are a lot of the things that make us more fertile. So, you know, I've created programs that sort of, but I've created programs that touch on that, and that get to expose women to being more fertile, sensual, feminine beings, right? And so since we're talking about that, how I can help as well, again, like I mentioned, I create 6 to 12 to 8 to, sorry, 6 to 12 to 24 week private one-on-one coaching programs. Those are for my private programs. I have private programs, I have group coaching programs, I have challenges, self-study, free content, and then I also have products. So for the coaching, again, for the most part, I like to offer the 8 week because, you know, again, like I said, it really takes time and commitment to get these things sort of down packed and to actually, for it to actually become a routine. So 8 weeks, 6 to 8 week programs, 12 week programs, and again 24 for those that need extended programs, right? And to do that, you know, it is through application only, which is what I'm transitioning into. Before I was offering pretty much you just jump on the phone and to me, and then we'll decide, you know, what is good for you. But I'm transitioning more into an application only method. So if you want to work with me, that is what I'm pretty much doing going forward, right? Although there may still be some links out there where you can, again, just book a call, that's fine, right? But for the most part, a lot of my my services are going to be offered through application only. So I also do group programs. And so in group programs, this is where, again, I create programs that are for women who are wanting support, wanting community, wanting to see other women pretty much going through the same challenges that they're going through, but also being able to support each other and to share each other's success. So I create group programs for that. And again, these can last between, again, 6, 8, 12 weeks as well, right? And so, for example, one of my group programs was my fertility womb cleanse that I did a couple months ago. Okay, so that was one. I also do challenges, like 5-day challenges to help women pretty much jumpstart whatever it is that they're trying to do. So I also did a cleanse challenge. So that's an example. I like to do cleanse challenges. Actually, I've done them before in the past, and I find that they're very helpful, right? Because cleansing is actually something that really, really helps women to increase their fertility naturally. So I do challenges, and I could do challenges on anything, any of my programs. Sometimes I'll just pull them out and just do like a mini challenge to help women, you know, see the value of it and to see how it can help them. So again, I also offer free content. A lot of it is just online, you know, where I might post on my Instagram, on my Twitter, on Facebook, or you can go to my website, where I actually have some of the free resources listed out, the ones that, you know, I feel like are really, really helpful, such as my free fertility guide. I also have a free fertility womb cleanse guide, and I have a lot of other free things that I make public, and, you know, sometimes I take something that I'm really wanting to focus on at the time. But, you know, to find out what my current free resources are, you can go to natasiawinter.com/free fertility resources, which I will put the link in the description or the comments for this video. And then I also have products. I also have products that I am working on, that I have created, that are doing very successful right now, and I also have products that I'm thinking about. So my yoni steams are, again, one of my number one products that I offer because I feel like they are very, very helpful. They actually are very helpful. And so my yoni steams are not just regular yoni steams. They're semi-customized, right? And they're made with herbs, high quality herbs. So these are premium yoni steams. These are not yoni steams that I just ordered from China, already pre-mixed and pre-packaged, and I just slap my label on it and put it online or anything. No. I make pre-customized herbs with herbs that, you know, I've studied and I've researched that are beneficial for individual, unique fertility issues, such as herbs specifically for fibroids, herbs specifically for PCOS, which I'm actually excited about right now because I am now making a yoni steam for women with PCOS. I started out with fibroids because, again, I've had a fibroid, which I did not mention that I shrunk my fibroid completely in that summer, where, again, I was doing everything all at the same time, where I was really tapping into my fertility, eating right, exercising. I actually fibroid in that summer that I conceived my son. So in that one cycle, so I've you know, had success with that. So I've created yoni steams. for PCOS. So if you're interested, definitely reach out to me in the comments, and I'll let you know some more information about that. I have not made it officially public right now because I'm actually making this yoni steam as a custom order. Woo! Mosquitoes. As a custom order for a woman that reached out to me that has PCOS. So we decided to create a custom yoni steam, you know, fully customized. Well, I guess I could make them way more customized by again speaking with one-on-one and really finding out what your situation is a lot more, because sometimes there are herbs that may be beneficial for you particularly that's not good for maybe somebody else. Like if you have anxiety and you have PCOS, I might need to put something else in there. If you have fibroids and you have you know, weight issues, I can put something else in there. So I can really make them fully customized. But for now, I'm making them semi-customized. Mainly for my one-on-one clients, I will make fully customized herbs for, right? So I'm excited about that, right? I also am thinking about creating a lot more things for you because, you know, I'm really big on making it easier for you and having everything pretty much done for you, so that way you don't need to online or in the stores or anything for these items. So I'm gonna let this helicopter pass and then we're gonna continue, which really sucks because I wanna keep talking, but it can get really loud, right? So so I will continue talking, but I just won't talk about anything else brand new. So I am thinking about creating a lot more new stuff so you don't have to search, so everything is done for you. There are pretty much two types of the coaching that I offer. One of, well, I guess this is something new, but we'll just talk about it anyways, right? Because plane, helicopter's gone. But one of the things that I make that is done for, one of the type of coaching programs or packages that I offer are done for you, and then another type is done with you, right? So the done with you is pretty much it's not fully custom. Like I have an outline that I follow with you, and you may have to get some of the items yourself. You may have to again seek out certain information, or not really information, but certain items that are going to be beneficial for you. You may have to seek it yourself. But for the done with you coaching, I will get everything for you. So I will get, you know, whatever essential oils you need, whatever herbs you need. If you need certain equipment, you know, it could be any a yoga mat. It could be you know, a list of acupuncturists in your area, you know, if they open up and when they open up, you know. So I will pretty much do all that information for you in the done for you, right? And that's usually my programs, but my done with you is mainly like my 8 to 12 week program. So, but you know, on my site, or when we talk on the phone, I pretty much will discuss that with you. But just to let you know, with fertility, again, like I mentioned, there are some things that you need to invest in, and so I am really thinking about creating my own products for each and every of, you know, as many of these things as I can, because again, I do have background in, you know, aromatherapy and body care. I used to sell shea butter ever since I was 15 or 16. I've been selling shea butter and black soap. That is one of the reasons why I've never really had acne since I was about 14. Of course, my healthy diet too is probably responsible for that. And like all this information just really, you know, because women with PCOS, they have acne, and you know, learning that women who have women that have acne, you know, from studying beauty care, I've learned that women who have acne typically they have like their sebum levels are affected. So it's like I'm able to see that women who have PCOS, they don't have a lot of fat in their diet. Women who have acne don't necessarily have a lot of fat in their diet, so their skin is over compensating. So it's like, add some more fat to your diet, solve the acne, help the PCOS. So I'm able to sort of put all these different spheres. I don't know if you've ever seen the overlapping circles. I'm able to put all the different spheres of information and basically help you. All right, so I say that to say, like, I want to pretty much make all the different items myself. So a lot of times I may tell women, you know, to do a castor oil pack. Well, they may have issues figuring out what is castor oil, which is the best brand, and I'm like, look, here. That's how I want to, you know, be able to help you. I don't want you to necessarily have to go out there and search for things yourself. So this year I'm really thinking about creating a lot of these items myself and making them available to you. I don't actually have a storefront, because this is something that people seem to really want from me. They really just want me to have a storefront, sell them this herb, sell them this item, and I'm like, I know that, you know, you can't just buy one thing. This is why a lot of times people say, ooh, I tried maca and it didn't work, or I did this and it didn't work. A lot of times it's because people are just doing it once. They're just trying the thing once. They're buying one bottle, maybe buying two, going to an acupuncturist once or twice, never going back. And I want to be like, hey, you can self acupuncture. You can get these herbs, you know, enough to last you until you actually have a positive effect. You know, you don't have to just buy one or two. You don't have to give up. So me, I haven't really wanted to do the store thing per se necessarily, because I want you to actually understand how fertility works. So that is why I create my free resource site, so that way I can give you the information that you need, and then now you have this information, you can move forward and decide and realize, hey, it's going to take a little bit more than one package of this thing or one treatment, right? And so that brings me to how to access the services. So again, while I don't promote my storefront, which I do have somewhere where I have things listed, I don't promote it necessarily. While I don't do that, I do have that, and in order to, well, I don't even want to say in order to access that, because that's really not the goal of what I'm trying to do. My goal, again, is to help you with coaching, to help you with emotional support, to help you with accountability, and to help you to increase your fertility naturally, again, by, you know, helping you to create a different routine, a healthier routine, to get the information that you need, to learn the steps that you need to do, and to help you along the way, to give you that guidance, right? So with that said, in order to access my services, number one, one of the best ways is to start with either my free resources, which again is listed at natasiawinter.com/free fertility resources, all one word, or to apply, right, for one-on-one coaching with me, or you know, when I do group coaching, I make that known how to do that. But for my one-on-one coaching, you go to natasiawinter.com/apply, fill out the questionnaire, and then I will reach out to you, and we can again have a one-on-one, and we can again decide on whether or not we are a good fit for each other. I can let you know what's available for you, how we can work together further. Any other questions that you have, I can definitely answer it during the call, right? And so those are the two main ways to access the services that I have, and to, you know, get a hold of the product. So like, for example, if you start with applying, you go to natasiawinter.com/apply. We have the one-on-one. If I decide that, hey, you got everything down, you just need this one thing to maybe help you out, I will definitely send you to the link to go to get that item. The other way again is, if I realize, hey, we need to work together on this a little bit further, we will, you know, again, schedule appointments to work either 6 weeks, 12 weeks, 24 weeks, right? And we'll do that. Or if you want to start with the free fertility resources, which is really how most people get access to even coaching with me. You start with the free fertility guide, okay? Like my yoni steaming one, you get to realize, oh, I didn't know this about, I know maybe increase my fertility better, because before I was yoni steaming after I ovulated, who knows what was going on, you know? So I give you the information, and then in the emails, that is how, again, you get access to coaching with me and to the products and other services that I have to offer. So I really hope that covers everything that you need to know about me, as far as being a natural fertility coach and how I can help you. I really enjoyed making this video. I really do enjoy being a natural fertility coach, and just going over everything like this, because it really means, you know, a lot to me that I have been able to sort of, you know, put together all the information that I have to be able to help other women like you. So if you found this video helpful in any way, definitely make sure to like this video, share it with your sister, share it with your friend, share it with your mother, share it with another woman, share it in a group that you're in. Comment, ask me any questions. You can also email me at blackfertility@gmail.com if you have any questions. Again, go to the 2 links in order to get access, which is natasiawinter.com/free fertility resources or natasiawinter.com/apply. Okay, so those are the 2 ways to access me. You can option for that, and that is it for now, right? So as I mentioned, my next video should be coming out either maybe tomorrow or very soon, and that should be about the state of fertility right now. So thank you again. It's me, Natty, Natassia Winter, and just to let you know how to spell that is NATTASSIAWYNTER.com/apply. FREEFertilitYresorces. All right, so thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in another one. All right, take care. Bye.